Congress just passed a bill urging President Trump to denounce white supremacy after Charlottesville. So, according to reports from BuzzFeed, the resolution, which rejects white nationalists, white supremacists, the Ku Klux Klan, neo-Nazis, and other hate groups, urges Trump and his cabinet to use all available resources to address the threats posed by those groups. It also calls on the president and his administration to, quote, speak out against hate groups that espouse racism, extremism, xenophobia, anti-Semitism, and white supremacy. It also includes specific language about Heather Heyer, as well as the two police officers who were killed in the helicopter accident in response when they were responding to the violence in Charlottesville. Tuesday, Mark Warner, upon passing it, tweeted out, among others, tweeting about it. He said, "Tonight the House passed my resolution condemning hate groups and the Charlottesville attack. POTUS should send a clear message and sign it ASAP." Sarah Huckabee Sanders on Wednesday, which is today, did say that the president looks forward to signing it and absolutely will. However, this is the same president who said that there were, what is it? The exact quote is hatred, bigotry, and violence on many sides.
On many sides, that's what he said, yes. I'm glad that he's gonna sign it. And it was a curious strategy by Congress to do this. I mean, on one hand, it's basically Congress saying, we do not support any of the, white supremacist stuff that's popping up all over the place right now. We condemn it, we do not condone it. But I wonder if they were thinking maybe there's a possibility that Trump won't sign it and it'll kind of throw him in the middle of this terrible controversy again, and maybe he'll lose a little more political capital. Although I feel like the more terrible racist stuff that goes on in the country, the more his core base, not all of his supporters, but his core base seems to continue making excuses for him, and they back him even more.
Right. It's remarkable for Congress as a whole to outflank anyone on what seems, on at least its face, to be a morally good thing to do.
Yeah.
Because Congress, as the president always said, Congress people, they have a lower approval rating than me. For them to just say, and then there's another part of it that's them just saying, okay, here's how to president. When things like this happen, say what you will negatively about Congress people, but this is the kind of thing they at least know how to do to, during a tough time, kind of signal to everyone, we want us all to come together over this.
Do you guys remember what controversies were like during the Obama administration?
No.
Do you remember when he wore a tan suit once and everyone made a big deal about that? Can we go back to those days?
When he put Dijon mustard on a hot dog, that scandal.
Dude, I can't, it blows my mind. Those were scandals back in the day.
It was
Lock him up. Lock him up.
By the way, Dijon mustard's delicious and should be placed on a hot dog.
Just call it deli mustard. Yeah. It's a secret.
It was because then it sounds too foreign for Dijon. The Between Two Ferns thing that Obama did. I watched, it was random. I went through old archives. Fox News, at one point they said how unpresidential of him to do a comedy skit to try and push out air. I was like, this is unpresidential?
Yeah.
To try and have some kind of fit. Anyway,
he was trying to get people to sign up for health care. He was trying to tell them how to do it.
He's tricking them. It's tricky for Zicky. I'm gonna Jimmy Dore this real fast. So is this officially a bill? Is this a law? Do they have to do something? There was the long list of things they're supposed to do with this thing that Trump is supposed to sign about white supremacy and then monitor this and do that, right? I don't know if we can go through those things again. I don't know if that's still readily available. I just want to see a few of them.
They reject white nationalists, white supremacists, the Ku Klux Klan, etc., and it urges Trump and his cabinet, so it urges an official urge to the Trump cabinet to use all available resources and to address the threats posed by those groups.
What does all that mean?
Yeah, what does it mean exactly? So are they going to finally empower the Department of Homeland Security to have a team that specifically focuses on right-wing non-Muslim extremism in the country? By the way, that's not to say don't focus on Muslim extremism. We are focusing on that, we should, but there's also right-wing extremism in the country, which has been evidenced by various events that have transpired over the last year. Can we finally have a government organization allocating resources to investigating that?
Well, that would be nice. Set up by Congress. This urges ostensibly things within the cabinet. So it is it's saying, okay, cool, why don't you need to do this? We urge you. So it's an official urge.
It's an official urge.
And you don't want to know what it feels like to have Congress urge you. And then it continues an official calling on the president to speak out. So he got called on, and I don't know if anyone went to elementary school, but when you get called on by the teacher, that's serious.
No, it's crazy that we need Congress to
so they're urging him to sign this thing that they ask him to maybe do something like change his tone and call out white supremacists or just hate groups in our country in general. So this is nothing. It's a whole bunch of nothing. So it's a policy to cover for his ass. So like, oh, our president signed this thing, so he now officially denounces white supremacists because they couldn't get him to do it on his own. So it's them saying, okay, so in the history of things, 10 years down the road, we can say, oh, you remember President Trump signed this decree that he's supposed to not like white supremacists anymore after he said how much he loves them? This all it is a little bit of cover so they can say he did something right. When honestly, how's he gonna turn it down? And what's he really gonna do? Nothing.
Well, he's going to sign the bill on many sides. The front, and then he's going to turn it over and sign it on the other of the many sides of admonishment.
And then you got to do the important final part of this whole thing that he does.
What is that?
When he shows his signature.
Oh, he goes, well, I don't want people to know how I signed myself. I'm about to get that iPhone 10 and I don't want it to be giving away my face or my signature, but so Donald Trump. Road name good. My name, Donnie.
Okay, by the way, just to answer my own question that I posed about the Department of Homeland Security, the legislation does urge Jeff Sessions and the Department of Homeland Security to allocate resources to investigate right-wing extremism in the US. So
it urges them.
But it's non-binding, so just keep that in mind too.
That's free for Jeff Sessions, because he knows where they are.
Support independent media. Come join us at the Young Turks. TYTnetwork.com/join.